What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, back with another review for you guys, this time from Lionsgate for Retaliation, starring Orlando Bloom. They were nice enough to send this over for review, so thank you again, Lionsgate. And I will be doing a digital code giveaway for this as well. If you guys stick around to the end of the video, I will give you guys the details when I'm going to draw the winner and all that kind of stuff. So let's do a short review on this first. And I'll start by just reading the brief synopsis on the back like I usually do, and give you guys my overall thoughts and everything on the film. So, Orlando Bloom stars as Malky, a demolition worker whose life receives a seismic shock when, out drinking with friends at a local pub, he sees a disturbing figure from his past. The man he holds responsible for a traumatic childhood incident. Fueled by anger, Malky sets out on a path of vengeance and discovers that no one can escape the consequences of their sins in this taunt thriller. That's kind of misleading, and so is this cover. You see him with this big hammer, and his face all beat up, and all that kind of stuff, and I really thought this was going to be a movie about him just, like, fucking people up with this hammer, and, serving revenge, as it says here, revenge is hell, to people who, like, wronged him or something, in his past, but that's not at all what this movie is. It's very, very misleading. Not to say it's really a bad film, but it's not what I expected going into whatsoever. So with that in mind, I kept waiting for something to happen. I kept waiting for him to use this hammer on people and, do damage. And it never happens throughout the whole film. So, if you guys are like me and you see this cover, even watching the trailer, you think that, even though they don't show that happening in the trailer, you would think that it does happen, but they're just not showing it, so it leaves it, for you to be surprised with or something. But, yeah, very, very slow burn film. Nothing really happens until the very end of this film, like his revenge or whatever, people or persons kind of getting what they deserved at the very end. So it is like, an hour and I forget how long this is. It's 96 minutes. So in like the last 5 minutes is when you finally get like some sort of payoff from this movie. Like I say, not to say that it's a bad film, but you keep waiting for this to happen. There is a scene in here where he kind of confronts this person, which I'll get to later. But anyways, and you think something's going to happen at that point, but it doesn't. So anyways, this also stars Alex Ferns as Joe, who's like his best friend in this movie. They go like way back. Some things happen in the past as well, which Orlando Bloom kind of takes the fall for, some acts that the Joe character committed, and a lot of people didn't know that this had happened. You have Janet Montgomery, who plays Emma, plays his girlfriend, and it focuses a lot on that too, their relationship and his issues with really committing to a relationship. Charles Miles Creed, who plays Paul, this kind of street preacher guy that he meets as he's doing demolition at this church. And then you have James Smiley, who plays Jimmy, the main priest in here, and I forget her name, but you have a lot of relationship stuff with his mother as well. And this is also known as Romans in the UK and Canada, so Retaliation is the only title that is used in the US, and it's kind of based on a short film back from, I think, 2007, which they kind of cover in the only bonus feature on here, which is a kind of behind the scenes making of. The directors talk about the short film they did called Romans 12:20. It was the same character and everything. His name was Malky as well, but it didn't dive as deep into the story as this film did. Of course, with it being a short film, I mean, there's only so much you can really cover in a short film. But yeah, it's I'll kind of go through a little bit here. So you have a lot of focus on, like I said, the character of Malky, played by Orlando Bloom, who did a fantastic job. You have a lot of focus on him and his mother's relationship. He kind of has this love-hate relationship with her. She's always kind of talking down to him and kind of making him feel like he's not good enough, and he's always like kind of bringing shame to her home and things like that, and it kind of upsets him. And but yeah, at the same time, and they kind of talk about this in the making of feature. At the same time, he still looks for her acceptance and still wants to take care of her, and of course he still loves her and wants to, do good by her and everything.
I just started big school. Cost me an arm and a leg, I know that much. New uniform, briefcase, pens, compass set, pencils. You sat up half the night sharpening the bloody things all over my new carpet. Took me a week to get it up.
But she's really just kind of a bitch in this movie. But I don't know if it's like a tough love type situation or what. But so he's really got some like animosity towards his mother and everything, but still protects her at the same time. With his girlfriend, Emma, she thinks he basically just wants her to around to to have sex with and all this stuff, and doesn't want like a real relationship. There's a point where he sees her with another guy and kind of takes things, blows things out of proportion, doesn't really know the situation, and automatically thinks like she's cheating on him and all this stuff. And because of this abuse that happened to him when he was a kid, like he can't really focus on things in life and really have a real understanding of things or something. But and then, like I said, his friend Joe, who and everybody did a great job in this movie, especially Alex Ferns, who played Joe. He was probably one of my favorite actors in here, aside from Orlando Bloom. He did fantastic in this film. Of course, I went over the little backstory with them a little bit, and then the street preacher, Paul, he kind of finds out a little bit about Malky and his past, so he unveils some of his past as well, some things that happened to him when he was younger, and the actions that he took to what he thought would be resolving these issues and everything, and kind of gave him a tape recorder and some tapes to kind of express his thoughts on, because Malky kind of has a hard time telling people what happened. He tried to tell his mom when he was younger when it happened, and she just flat out says no, that didn't happen, and all this, and this person you're saying did this is a really nice man and all this. But so it's basically just Malky working at this church doing the demolition. He's taking down the cross that Jesus is on and everything. That's where he meets the street preacher Paul. He wants that for a little chapel in this hospital, so he gives that to him, and they kind of become friends through that meeting. And after work, they're all out drinking, and that's when he sees this figure who is a priest from his childhood that has come back to this town to start being a priest at this new church that they built. Once he sees that, he just kind of comes across it while he's in, I believe he was in the kitchen or something. I'll try to throw some clips in here for you guys. And he sees that in the newspaper article that this priest is back, and that's where his downfall really starts to happen, and he really starts to lose his mind and everything. Because this person who really did some terrible things to him when he was younger is now back into his life. Like I kind of touched on a little bit already, there is a scene where once he hears about this, all he wants to do is take this hammer and beat the shit out of this priest. So he goes to the church after hours, and he's waiting for him, and something happens, and that situation is intervened, and it doesn't happen. I was really, really thinking it was going to happen. So I know, spoilers, but like I said already, you know, nothing happens to like the last 5 minutes of this fucking movie. So, again, not to say that this is a bad movie. It's a very well acted movie, very good script, very well made film, but not the film that you're expecting. So, so with all that happening, there's scenes in here where Malky kind of takes things out on himself, whether it be like a sexual abuse to himself. There's a scene in here. I'll try to throw some of the clip in here, even though I even kind of had a hard time watching this, so I apologize if it's too much for you guys. But and then there's some scenes of him taking out physical pain on himself, you know, doing physical harm to himself. I'm guessing because he doesn't really know how to express what's going on inside of his head and doesn't really have anybody to go to with these issues. So the only way for him to get past these is to cause harm to himself, to cause pain to himself. But yeah, I mean, it's a really strange film. I definitely haven't seen too many movies like this. Like I said, very well acted, very well shot, very well put together. Just not what you were expecting. So if you guys are watching this review, now you know what to expect, and you may not be a little disappointed like I was. Like I said, not to take away from it being a good film or anything. It's a decent film. I definitely recommend streaming this one or renting it, you know, digitally or whatever first to see if it's something that you would be into. It is kind of one of those tough subject matters where you have the priest and the child issues going on. It never really goes into detail of, well, no. I take that back. Yeah, it kind of does. Towards the end, it finally tells you exactly what happened between the priest and Malky. But you definitely get to hear from his friend Paul what happened to him earlier on. But it doesn't go into like grave, grotesque detail or anything. But in the end, Malky finally gets what he wanted to achieve, and definitely makes this priest feel shameful more than anything. And really, he really sees what this did to this character of Malky, about how it really messed him up his whole life. And anyone that's been through any kind of abusive situation, whether it's sexually, mentally, or anything, especially as a child, that kind of trauma stays with you throughout your whole life. And this kind of really focuses on that aspect of it. But again, check this one out first, guys. I wouldn't say run out and buy this one right away. So if you don't win this digital code, stream it, rent it, whatever you got to do first. This did come out in 2017, and it's just now getting a physical release here on Blu-ray, which is available on September 8th, which is when I'm going to be giving away the code, Tuesday the 8th. On release day for this film is when you guys can win this. There is also an audio commentary on here with the directors, the Shamasan brothers, I guess. Yeah, it's another one of those something brothers collaborations. But say I will be giving away the digital on Tuesday the 8th. Same rules as always, guys. You have to be a subscriber, you have to follow me on Instagram, and you have to leave a comment down below saying enter me for the contest and like this video. So nothing too extreme. You should already be subscribed if you're watching this. You should already be following on Instagram if you enter contest usually. And just hit that like button. So I'm not going to make you guys do anything else. There is some cover art, same as the case art. But like I said, I mean, very, very powerful performances in this one. I think if I would have went into this actually knowing more of what kind of film it was, it would have been better for me. So with that being said, like I've said a few times in this video, not a terrible film, just not what I was led to believe the kind of film that it was. So thank you again, Lionsgate, for sending this out. And again, I will draw the winner on Tuesday the 8th when this releases. And if you guys won the last digital code, of course you're not eligible this time. But other than that, feel free to leave a comment. If you guys have seen this movie too, I mean, it came out in 2017, and I see there was already a ton of reviews on IMDb, so it had like some circulation elsewhere. If you guys have seen this film, let me know what you guys think about this. If it's a tough subject matter for you guys, it's the kind of thing I've seen multiple times, so it didn't really bother me too much. But so there is some kind of hard to watch scenes in here, and some kind of hard to listen to subject matters for, people that haven't really came across this too much in media. But for me, I've seen this multiple times, I've heard this multiple times, so I'm kind of immune to this kind of thing. But not everybody is. So that's it, guys. Until next time, as always, peace, love, happiness to everybody, and I'll catch you guys next time.